Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome. This is the Real Estate Investing Mastery Podcast. Today, we've got an interview with somebody named Adam. And Adam Harrison has been doing land deals for a long time now. And he's got something different and unique than a lot of other people that I bring on the show. A lot of people that I bring on the show and interview are doing vacant land deals or real estate deals full time. That's their full-time gig. While Adam is doing real estate on the side while he keeps a full-time job. And I put out a post out there recently. Hey, who's doing land deals that would like to be on my show? Adam responded, or somebody referred Adam, and I talked to him a little bit on the phone. I thought, man, this is a real nice guy. I'd like to get him on the podcast and talk about how he's doing vacant land deals while holding a full-time job, because that's where most everybody starts. Very few people can do real estate investing full-time right from the beginning. Usually you slowly get into it and you have a full-time job. And there's a lot of people out there, and I was like this for a long time, that maybe don't want to quit their job. They just want to do real estate investing on the side to kind of supplement the income. Maybe you have really good benefits, good retirement, some kind of really good package with your job. You've got golden handcuffs, and that's not a bad thing always. You don't want to quit your job. So how do you manage and build a business and make money on the side while you have a full-time job? And that's what we're going to be talking about today with Adam. Cool. All right. So I know a lot of you guys are watching right now on Facebook and YouTube. And so do me a favor, type down in the comments below where you're from, say hi, let us know. I'd like to know from you, like, how many of you guys are trying to do real estate while you have a full-time job? And how many of you guys don't want to necessarily quit your job? Some of you are, I'd just be curious to know kind of where you're at. If you have a full-time job and you want to keep the job, you want to do real estate on the side, let me know in the comments of this YouTube or Facebook or wherever you are. If you're listening to this on the audio podcast, hello to you guys as well. I know there's not a place for you to leave a comment, but I appreciate you listening. And if you have any questions, guys, or comments, you want to say something in the chat while we're live, you can type that in to the Facebook or YouTube comments, and I will see it. And if we get a good question, I'll bring it up and ask Adam and answer your questions. Cool. All right. One more thing real quick. One more thing before we bring Adam on. I'm giving you for free the contract that we use for all of our vacant land deals. And this is a deal that I did with my son Luke in a certain county in North Carolina. It's top secret. No, but it's a 5.08 acre property. We bought this one for $7,600 and we sold it for $19,300 for a total profit of about $11,200. And this is the contract that we use. It's a very simple one-page contract. And you can get this for free if you go to simplelandcontract.com. Simplelandcontract.com. I will email you a copy of that contract for free. You can use it in your own business. And there'll also be an invitation to watch a webinar and a class that teaches you more about how to do this vacant land strategy. And you can watch that as well. All right. Hey, Tina, how you doing? She's from Spring, Texas, working part-time, want to invest in land while I work my job. I appreciate that, Tina. There's a lot of you guys out there like Tina that don't want to quit your job. You want to do real estate on the side, whether it's houses or land. This is going to apply to you. Cool. All right. Let's bring Adam on. How are you, Adam?
Good. Good morning, Joe. Thanks for having me on your show.
Good to meet you finally. I know we talked a few weeks ago and we're able to get our schedules coordinated to get you on the show.
Yes.
Adam, what do you do for a living right now?
Oh, I fix computers. I'm a computer person. I fix computers for a living.
So you're more technical, detail oriented. I'm going to guess one of the reasons why you were attracted to land is you don't like sales and you don't like negotiating with sellers, huge discounts over the phone.
No, I don't. I want to work with people who want to work with me.
Yes. Okay.
If someone wants $1 million for their property that's worth $100,000, I'm just not.
Okay.
I'm not interested.
The reason I ask is that's one of the reasons I'm technical too. I like computers and spreadsheets and stuff like that. And I didn't like one of the things with houses that you have to think about all the time is like learning sales skills and negotiating and being able to have, it's just a different kind of mentality, mindset or something. I don't know. Anyway, so you fix computers. Cool. Do you do that do you work for another company, or do you do that on your own with your own company?
Oh, I work for a huge company.
Okay.
I work for a huge company. And
I had a coaching student one time, and to this day, well, maybe I can say the company. It's a large technology company. I probably shouldn't. And he had golden handcuffs. He had a great job, a lot of freedom, and he loved what he did. He loved the people that he worked with.
Yeah.
But he got paid so well, and his benefits were so good, and he loved the company. He did not want to quit. And he was doing regular cash deals, regular wholesaling. And in fact, his name is Bob. Bob, you know who you are. If you're still listening to my podcast, let me know. Send me an email, say hi. I'd love to talk to you and see how you're doing. But he didn't want to quit his job because he really just enjoyed what he was doing. And he did real estate very successfully on the side, at least for a period of time. Okay, Adam, what got you interested in real estate?
Well, a long time ago, in a universe far, far away, over about 10 years ago now, I got the Land Profit Generator by Jack Bosch. And
good guy.
Yeah, good guy. And I just took it from there. I mean, I just started studying the program, and I had many, many adventures along the way.
Okay, cool. How many years ago was that again?
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
2000 and really, I started studying it in 2012, but I started the business in 2013.
All right. So you bought Jack's course. You started studying it and implementing it.
Yeah.
You remember your first deal?
Yeah, I'll never forget my first deal, because it was really funny. My first deal, I lost $1,000. But the second deal, I made the money back, and then I did another deal where I 5x'd my money, and the rest is history.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Nice. You made your money back. How long did it take you to do your first deal?
A long time. Like, I think it was at least 7 or 8 months.
7 or 8 months. And what were you doing during that time?
Sending out letters, sending out postcards, trying to figure things out. A lot of work.
Do you remember, vague numbers is fine, range, but like how many letters were you sending a month during those 7 or 8 months till you did your first deal?
I don't remember. My guess would be maybe 500, 600 letters.
Okay. A month,
maybe 700 letters. But keep in mind that there could have been, I was so new to land investing, there could have been deals in there or things that I could have made into deals, and I just didn't know what to do. Right? Because I was so new.
Do you remember, were you sending blind offers or neutral letters?
Neutral letters.
Okay, so you're just sending them a letter saying, hey, do you want to sell your land? Call me.
Exactly. And I had a lot of people, I had an answering service at that time, and I had a lot of people calling, tons of people calling, who wanted a huge amounts of money for their land.
Okay.
So that's what happened.
Were you just sending them offers regardless of what they wanted anyway, or were you trying to negotiate these deals over the phone?
Well, I would send out mail offers, but when I was first starting out, the problem that I had is I didn't have a lot of certainty as to how to comp the properties, how to make sure I was sending the right offer, right? Okay. So that caused me to have some analysis paralysis.
Okay.
Right. So I could have, looking back on it, I could have sent more offers.
I was going to ask, what would you have done differently if you were speaking to yourself 10 years ago, just getting started? What would you have told yourself to do or not to do?
Well, what I would have done is there's a lot of different counties around the country that do tax deed auctions, right?
Oh, so you were pulling lists of late taxes?
No, I was just sending out to anybody.
Okay.
I was just sending out to anybody who was a landowner who fit the criteria, right? Properties, this acreage to that acreage in this county or that county, right?
Okay.
But what I'd have done starting out is I would have gone and there's certain states that have tax auctions that are not well attended. You go and you buy some properties there, you flip those properties, and then you have some more cash so you can send out more letters, because looking back on it, I wasn't sending out enough letters, So, but because I didn't have the money at that time to
Sure.
spend all the money in the business.
Do you think you
Right.
were, did you pick, do you think you picked the good county to start with? Was there a lot of activity there?
Well, the first county that I started with was what seemed to me to be a good county, but looking back on it, it wasn't a great county at all.
Okay. So you would have
Um,
told yourself maybe back then to pick a better county. Oh, I lose you, Adam?
that's a really good question. All I can say is, I know you're a coach, and I'm sure if someone is starting out and needs help picking a county, they should definitely reach out to you. For me, it was really hard because it was really kind of trial and error,
Okay.
right? It was really kind of trial and error, and I wasn't able to try enough counties, right? And I eventually found a county that worked for me.
Okay, good. I want to ask you in a minute, like, how did you find a county that worked for you? But first of all, kudos to you for even taking that first step. And even though it was hard, not quitting and not giving up. That is 99% of the battle right there, isn't it?
You are absolutely right, Joe. It's just not quitting and just persisting. That's
Mhm.
that's what it boils down to. If you don't quit, you will become successful. If you
Right.
do quit, you won't become successful.
Yeah. That's
Right?
kind of a problem.
You can't quit,
Right.
and you can't take setbacks personally. You just have to go and regroup and do it again.
Yeah. Okay, so you started 10 years ago. You were sending neutral letters.
Yeah.
The calls were going to a live answering service.
Yeah.
You were calling them back, talking to them, and if they were negotiable, you would, or if they were kind of realistic, you would send them an offer.
Yeah. A lot of the people that were calling me were just like, they were just, yeah, I want $1 million for my property. I say a million,
Sure.
but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was not even like, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, and that can be discouraging to a lot of people.
And I probably should have just sent them an offer anyway,
Yes,
but I didn't.
I'm glad you
So
said
it was a
that.
mistake on my part.
I'm glad you said that, because I preach this all the time from the hills
Yeah.
and the mountaintops and the valleys.
Yeah.
Send offers anyway. I mean, I say this too. It's
You're
so important for everybody
absolutely
to
right.
understand. Like, your speed to income is directly proportional to the number of offers that you make. If you drew a graph, and I know it's backwards if you're looking at me on the camera, but you have your axis here, and you have money on the y-axis, I think, and
Yeah.
then offers on the x-axis. There's a straight line that goes diagonal, at a 45-degree angle. And the more offers you make, the more money you make. And the number of offers that you make is directly proportional to the amount of money and how quickly you make money on that. So good. All right. So talk about your journey then over the next few years after that. You did your first deal finally. You lost money. You still didn't quit. Then you did another deal and 5x your money.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So like you slowly building some momentum.
Yeah. I slowly built some momentum, and then I think it was very late 2015, early 2016. I took a few years off for my education, and I came back and I hit the ground running in, I think it was September of 2016,
Okay.
right? And it was really funny at that time. I had a property that I had bought years ago, years before that, for like $500, and I got this blind offer from another investor.
Really?
I looked at it and I was like, that's a good offer. Signed it, sent it back, sold the property, got back into the game.
What had you been doing with that property the last few years then? Did you sell it on owner financing, or were you just holding on to it?
I was holding on to it because I was doing my education and I didn't have time to put enough time into it. I'd done a little bit of light marketing on it, but nothing really, really serious.
So your deals at the beginning, were you trying to just wholesale them, sell them for cash?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of seller financing, but primarily cash, because I needed cash to keep the business running.
Okay, cool. So you got an offer.
Yeah.
This was 2016, and that kind of got you back into the game.
Exactly.
So this is another investor who bought your property. Do you remember what they bought it for?
I forget. I think it was like $2,000 or something.
All right.
But
so 4x your money.
Yeah, I had 4x my money, and I knew in that area, basically the property had kind of it wasn't a flat property. It wasn't really buildable property, right? So it had a kind of a slope, a very steep slope in the middle of it.
Okay.
And I was just like, okay, well, what am I going to do with this?
Okay.
The county says it's worth 15,000, but I don't see that.
All right. So then what happens? You get renewed interest now. You want to start doing more deals.
Yeah, I get renewed interest. I'm getting ready to get started, and then I injure my arm, right?
Okay.
And my arm's in a sling, and I'm out of work for a few months, right? And then I just kind of burned through what properties I had left, and I just kind of fire sale what I had left to cover my expenses. And then
So how many properties did you have at this time?
I think it was 4 or 5.
Okay.
Wasn't that many at that point in time.
And then what happens?
Then I was completely broke. I was broke, capital B broke. I got a contract sent back to me. I had done mailers before, and I got a contract sent back to me, and someone was willing to sell their property for like $700 or $750.
How long ago did you send him an offer?
It must have been a couple of months before that.
Okay.
Right. So there was the delay. And I was out of money for my business. I was out of money personally. And someone sent me this offer. I'm not offer, but this signed contract. And I remember looking at it and saying, darn, I wish I could buy this. This is a good deal, but I had no money.
So it was $700.
No, I didn't have $700. I didn't have anything.
Okay.
I was completely broke.
Yeah.
I was broke.
Broke as a joke.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then what'd you do? Did you pass on it, or did you find somebody else who had the $700?
I didn't know anybody who had the $700
Oh,
at that
come
time.
on,
So I
Adam.
just passed the deal. And then what happened is I did my taxes, and I got a tax refund.
Wow.
And then I was back in the game.
Awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
Persistent.
A little bit. A small tax refund. I think it was like $1,000, but it was like put me back in the game.
All right. So what year is this, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh, no problem. 1997.
97 or
2017. Excuse me.
2017. All right.
I said 1997. I misspoke. Excuse me.
2017.
2017.
So now you're back in the game, and you're doing land still.
Exactly.
Okay.
Back in the game.
Then what happens?
Okay, so then I do a few other small deals, and then I get this deal, and this guy has 5 properties, and I write him, and I had made an offer on one of them, and I said, okay, so I see you have these other properties. How much do you want for these other properties? They all had back taxes on them. The guy hadn't paid his taxes in probably 10 or 15 years. And I said, how much do you want? And he's like, forget the exact number. I think he said like $1,000, but you pay the back taxes. And I said, okay, no problem. So it's $1,000 plus the price of the other property. It was like, I think the other property I offered, I think $1,500 on. Right. So I paid him the money. And then I thought, okay, well, whatever these properties are, I'm not going to lose money at $300 a property, $300 a property. And one of them was a 40-acre property with paved road access.
Wow.
So
40 acres. And how much did you buy it for again?
It was like $300 plus back taxes.
Well, how much are back taxes?
Oh, I think it was another $300.
Wow. So this guy just didn't care, was super motivated.
He didn't care at all. And I said, I wasn't the one who came up with that price, by the way. I said, here are these properties that you have. What price do you want for them? And I didn't know that it was 40 acres when I bought it. I had no idea what it was, right? I just thought it was just a property, some small dinky property. And the county had assessed the value of the property at like $500. So I was like, okay, well, whatever. And it turned out that I was because it had been zoned agricultural.
Okay.
So that was a great deal.
So what'd you do with it then?
Well, I sold it. I ended up wholesaling it, just selling it for cash because again, I needed the money, but I sold it, I sold it at a very, very low price. It was a very, very rural area where the property was located. So I was only able to get $10,000 for it.
Okay.
and the person covered the back taxes. So it was 10,000, just a cash sale, just send me a check, blah, blah, blah.
Nice.
If I was willing to wait, I probably could have gotten 20,000 or more for it, but I wasn't able or willing to wait. And then the rest is history. I went and I did many other deals. I did a deal where I bought another property, 4,000, sold for 12,000. Um,
Well,
I
that's
can go
awesome.
on and on and on.
That's awesome. Good for you. Congratulations. You made about 9 or 10 grand profit on that deal, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah, exactly.
So that gets you, now you got some money to spend on, you still have a job at the time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. You start doing what now? You start doing more marketing, more direct mail?
More marketing, more direct mail, and I continue buying and selling. I mean, my point of view, which is could be right, it could be wrong. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but at my point of view was just like, okay, well, I just need to do some more flips and get some more money in, right? And I did after that, I did a bunch of deals where I maybe made $1,000 or whatever I made, right, just to keep the money coming in. And then I came across a person who had 10 5-acre properties, right, with a bunch of back taxes. And they were going to, if they didn't sell them, eventually they'd lose them to back taxes. So I made an offer. Go ahead.
They had 10 properties with back taxes?
That's right. 10 5-acre properties.
Okay.
And I made an offer for all of them. And my offer was accepted. And that was one of the most successful transactions. It was a great transaction.
Wow.
It was a great transaction.
And about how much did you make on those deals?
I'd have to add it up between all 10 properties, probably $20,000.
And fantastic.
Right? Because I sold them all separately.
And how long ago was that?
That was late. That was in 2017. And then I just continued, and I continued doing more deals, doing bigger deals. In 2018, I bought about 100 properties within the span of a couple of months.
Okay, wait. Did you guys hear that? What year was this again?
2018.
2018, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You bought how many properties?
It's about 100.
100.
Span of a few months.
In a span of a few months. But how many different sellers would you say that was?
Oh, in this case, I got lucky. It was just one seller who was totally motivated, who didn't want properties at all. So I bought the properties, and then I was like, okay, well.
How did you buy them? How did you get the money for all that?
Well, it wasn't that much. I mean, I was just paying like, anywhere between $50 and $100 per property.
Okay.
So
what area of the country were these? Not that much money. Where were these properties located?
Like in the Midwest.
In the Midwest?
Yeah, Midwest area. I really lucked out because I won a bunch of properties at a tax deed auction.
Okay.
So that's how I got it. It was tax deed auction. And I bought all these properties, and I was like, okay, well, it's time to sell them. So I just began selling them.
And how did you do that?
Oh, everywhere. Bid for Assets, eBay, Land Flip, Land Century, wholesaling to other investors, all of the above.
And what were you selling them for? What kind of profit were you making on average?
Well, it was really funny because I wasn't going to maximize profit on each property because I had so many that I need to move.
Yeah.
Right. Like, for example, one of them I bought for, I think, $200, and I probably could have sold it for more. So I'm going to make sure I'm letting you know the truth. I could have sold it for more. And some investor came to me and he's like, $1,300 cash. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
Did you self-close these deals, or did you use title companies to buy
self-close? Because I'm not going to, if I'm selling for $1,300 and I sell through a title company.
Sure.
That doesn't make sense.
And when you bought them, though, did you use a title company or?
No, self-close.
Okay.
And
I know a lot of people have questions about that. I want to ask you about self-closing later.
Sure.
Normally we use title companies, but we're going after bigger deals.
Yeah, exactly.
When you have that thin of margins, it's better to self close on them. All right, so fast forward to today. What does your business look like today? And if you don't mind sharing, like on average, how many deals do you do a month? And how are you balancing the work, your business, your land business, and your job?
Oh, well, I am very, very fortunate to have wonderful VAs who it's really funny because they're really, really smart people and they hadn't done real estate before, but they were really bright and I trained them on what I do. And they're invaluable and I so appreciate their help. And I appreciate the love and support of my family.
Yeah.
And I appreciate their support and in all that I do. I appreciate my wife and all that I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
My parents. What I do in terms of balancing it is I just try to outsource as many tasks as I can and only concentrate on what I actually need to do.
Yeah.
That's what I try to do. And as to how does my business look today, I'm still doing those smaller deals, but I do bigger deals. Like for example, there was one time I did a deal not that long ago. I bought a couple of properties. I sold a couple of properties. It was a couple of months. Profit was like $40,000. I did a deal in a 401k, and my 401k bought a property. It was really funny because the person I bought it from was really, for lack of a better phrase, like a don't wanter. Like he was a business person and he didn't want land in this state. He was like, why do I need it? And I said,
Yeah.
and I had sent him an offer. It was really funny. I had sent him an offer for his 40-acre property. And he signed it and sent it back, and we're on the phone, and he's like, okay, so I've accepted your offer for the 200 acres, right?
Wow.
Right, Joe?
Yeah.
And little did I know he was expecting that amount of money. I'd sent him an offer for 40 acres, and he actually was willing to accept that amount of money for all 200 acres.
Wow.
And when you have a deal like that, it's like, how could you lose?
I get it.
You can't lose.
I get it.
So that's what happened.
All right. So looking at last year, we're recording this in January 23.
Yeah.
In 22, about how many deals did you do?
I can't even tell you how many deals I did. Probably at least 50 or 60.
Good for you.
At least 50 or 60.
If you don't mind me sharing or asking or sharing,
Sure,
what was your average profit on those 50 deals? 40.
It's a good question. I'm not sure. Right? Probably
at least $1,000
each,
profit.
$3,000 to $5,000, like a few $1,000s each, because it's a mix of really big. What I do, Joe, is I like chasing like the really big deals that may take longer.
Yeah.
Right. And they've always taken longer for me and to sell and a lot more marketing. And then the way I run my business is I'm always doing smaller deals to keep money coming in so that I can run the business.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that I'm not waiting for that big deal to close.
Yeah.
Or that big deal to come in.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's really interesting. This is important for people to understand. I think, I don't know if it's just because sometimes people coming from the house side and they're thinking, man, at a minimum, you want to make $5,000. It's like, that's a bad wholesale deal where you're making $5,000 on it.
Yeah.
And then they get discouraged with land when they're only making a couple $1,000s, but you make it up in volume, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. You make it up in volume. And it's like, if you're only chasing the deals that are going, well, this would work at your level, Joe, because you're a master investor. But I think that a lot of new investors, the mistake they're making is like, they think that they're going to make every day, they're going to get $100,000 deal or something. And maybe at your level that happens, but I don't think that's going to happen if you're like brand new. And I could be wrong.
One of the guys you learned about the business from was Justin Silva, right?
Yeah, Justin Silva is a genius.
Silva, sorry.
And I am thank you, Justin, for all you've done.
Yeah, Justin's a good guy. I've had him on my show before with his business partner. What's his name? Adam
Southey.
Yes.
They're great.
Super good guys. I like them a lot. Like their show. They have a real good podcast. It's called
Yeah.
Casual Fridays REI, right?
It is Casual Fridays REI, and Justin really, really helped me scale up my business. And I would not, he does consulting, and I would not be at the level I'm at if I hadn't gotten consulting from Justin.
Yeah, I recommend those guys.
Unpaid, unsolicited endorsement and a statement of thanks.
They're good dudes. They do a lot of deals. So, okay, he has a book. One of those two guys has a book called Coffee
Money Real Estate Investing.
Coffee Money Real Estate.
Yeah, that's a great book.
Talk about what that is, because it's similar to what we're talking about with the lower price deals, right?
Yeah. It's basically the concept is you're sending offers in, right? It's tax deed auctions, and you should actually read the whole book. If you're watching this, you should read the whole book.
Can you get it on Amazon?
Yeah, you can get it on Amazon. I encourage you to read Justin's book because I don't want to say everything. But you're making really, really lowball offers on tax deed auctions, right? And these are good properties. These are not properties with issues. You're checking out the properties and making sure they're not properties with issues. And you're making these really lowball offers. And then you're getting you're buying a quality asset that you can then resell for a profit, right? And you may not make $10,000, $20,000 or whatever, but it gets you into the game. And now you can go and you can do more mailers. You can pay for your answering service. You can pay for VAs. You're in the game, because not everybody starts with $100,000, $200,000, $250,000 to invest.
Yeah. Here's the book, everybody. Coffee Money Real Estate Investing. I know it's pretty hard to see. Maybe I'm going to zoom in a little bit. It's called Coffee Money Real Estate Investing. You can get it on Kindle for $14.95. You can probably get it for cheaper than that if you go to their website. But just look up Justin Silva, Sliva. I know I butchered his name.
Yeah.
And the Casual Fridays REI podcast. If you Google that, casualfridaysrei.com. There's been a critical error on this website. Maybe I Googled casualfridaysrei.com. All right. So if anybody knows these guys, let them know their website's not working. But they have a good website. I recommend. See if I can I'm playing with some new tools, and I think I'm good. By the way, I got a new camera. Say hi over there. Okay. Hi. All right. Sorry. So go get the book on Kindle if their website's not working, but their website will be back. And Keith is asking right now, what's the name of the book again? It is Coffee Money Real Estate Investing. So the whole point of the book is there's a lot of small deals out there. And if you make enough really ridiculous offers, you're going to get some accepted. And then you turn around and you sell them for $500. You buy it for $100. You sell it for $500. You buy them for $100. You sell them for $1,000, right? Okay, but there's some things, they're a little different deals. It's a great way to get started though, because you self-close them. They are a lot of work, and as you get more experience, get some money in, you're going to realize, okay, this is nice. For the same amount of work, I can do bigger deals and make more money. But it's a great way to just get some cash in the bank, right?
Yeah.
All right. What were some of the things that Justin told you to do? Because you said you hired him as a consultant. What were some of the things that he did to help you get some traction and momentum?
Well, I mean, he did so many things. I mean, the biggest thing is helping me. He did a few different things. He helped me. I had a lot of confusions in terms of pricing and a lot of uncertainty in terms of pricing, even though I've been doing it for years. I had some confusions as to pricing stuff because there have been some times where I'd priced stuff and it was the wrong pricing, right? So he really helped me with pricing, and he really helped me with finding counties that are a lot more profitable. And he was willing to, I did work, and he was willing to like side check it and like look at it and give me some pointers. And then for some of the deals, there were a few deals I did with Plum Investment Group, which is Justin Sliva's company.
That's a funding company. Right?
Funding company. And he helped me with that. I mean, he funded a couple of deals, and it was a really good smooth experience. And then after he funded the deal, and after we sold the deal, and I saw how easy it was, I was like, oh wow. I was like confused about this, and I was scared about this. I can do this.
Yeah.
Right. So I bought some more consulting from him, and I just kind of went after it, and he helped me a little bit more with the pricing, and I just continued, and then kind of like the rest is history. Now I don't have any concerns. I just send out offers. I've sent out offers, for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, I've talked to people who own properties that are worth like $1 million.
Nice.
I
Beautiful.
just make offers. I know that
Right.
the money will be there if I get a good enough deal.
What kind of marketing are you doing now? Are you sending neutral letters or blind offers?
No, I've gone to doing range offers.
Range offers.
Right. Blind offers are great as well. I mean, neutral offers are good. It's just that what I personally ran into was that all the time on the phone. And with a full-time job, I didn't have time to talk to everybody.
Which is why I like sending them to voicemail.
Yeah,
Calls
that's
go to
smart.
voicemail. They give me a letter reference ID. Then I send them an offer.
Oh, that's a smart idea.
Well, and the reason why I like that is because instead of me trying to figure out, looking at a county and then figuring out, okay, in that county, where are all the pockets of activity, and then breaking it down by area and subdivision, it takes a lot of time to kind of break down an area to figure out the pricing to send blind offers to, right?
Yeah.
I would rather the lead comes in, they say they want to sell their property. They text or leave me a voicemail. I want to sell the deal. Then I can look at that property, see what similar properties in the area are selling for, and then make my offer then and send it. I can have a VA do that and only talk to the ones then who say, yeah, I'm interested in selling, right? Okay. So anyway, off sidetrack. So you're sending ranged offers. Explain what that means for somebody who doesn't know.
Oh, well, what I do is I send out offers like, for example, my offer, I can offer you anywhere between, for a property that's, let's say that it's worth $10,000. It's like you're offering anywhere between 2,500 and 4,500 or whatever the range is. Right.
Okay.
And you're just doing it as a range. Right. And then that way I get the offer and I know that they're at least in the ballpark. But I think what you do is really smart. And that's a really good idea.
Well, there's just different ways to
but it's
skin a cat. All right. Talk about how you pick your counties today.
Well, how I pick my counties today is I'm looking for, a lot of the counties that I mail to are a few hours away from a big city, right? That's the big thing. And then the second thing is now I have there's people that I know in different states, in different areas. And like one mailing I did was, there's a few realtors that I know, and there's areas that they work that they're really familiar with. And I sent a custom mailing out just covering areas that they cover.
Because that realtor knows who the buyers are who are looking for deals in that area.
Exactly. I know that in this particular area, in this particular state, I don't even do, if I get a deal, I don't even do any marketing on the deal or anything. I just turn it over to the realtor. And
this is so
history
good
of selling stuff.
I love this. Okay, so I want to talk about this a little bit more. You have a state. Let's just pick Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Right. Let's pick Oklahoma. And so how do you find those realtors? Number one.
Well, what happened is I was mailing to different states, and I got a deal under contract, and I was looking for a realtor, and I interviewed a number of realtors. And there was one realtor, he seemed like really bright. He seemed really competent. And I decided to take a chance and listed a property with him. Actually listed 2 properties with him. And holy moly, the guy got the property sold within, I think it was a month or 2.
Okay.
And I said, okay, you are the man.
All right.
Right. And the rest is history. He helps me with my mailer pricing. And when I get deals in Oklahoma, it just goes with him.
All right, so I'm gonna share my screen here in a second, and I want to see what you would kind of do with this. Let's look in Oklahoma. I'm gonna do, and I'll share my screen here in a minute so everybody can see it. Sold in the last 6 months. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. Share screen. Window. Boom. Boom. All right, you guys see my screen? I'm going to make it a little smaller so it's bigger actually for you all. Okay. Again, if you're listening to the audio podcast, please go to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my channel, and you can see this video here, what I'm talking about. So here is the state of Oklahoma. I went to Zillow. I did a search for OK. That stands for Oklahoma. And I did a search for solds. And then I did land only. And then I went to, let's just do 1 to 10 acres. And then I did one more thing here. Sold in the last 6 months. Now, as we're recording this in January of 23, last 6 months has seen a lot of, some people are saying the market is slowing down. You know, everybody's running to the hills and, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. We're in a recession and the housing market is falling apart. The real estate market is falling apart. But look what you see here. I see a lot of yellow dots of properties that have sold in the last 6 months. There's been 1,100 in Oklahoma, 1 to 10 acres in the last 6 months that have sold, that Zillow is showing. Maybe there's more, you know, on different other websites. So let's just say we zoom in here and let's look for a pocket where there's a lot of activity. All right. Now I agree with you. I like staying away from the cities, right? I like to stay away from the cities because we're looking for more larger recreational property. There's a lot of stuff going on down here. There's some lake. So what if we go into this area, maybe right down here? Okay. One of the things I thought about is when I'm going to remove the boundary. Now I'm just going to draw. I'm going to do a drawing. I'm going to go right in here and do a drawing like that. And in that circle I drew, there's 65 results in the last 6 months of properties that are, now we don't have the pricing on some of these. For some reason, Zillow, depending on the county, has pricing. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. They got a bunch here as well. I'm looking at this and I see, I'm looking for the realtors. There's United Country, EXP Realty, Tracy, Christopher, Eric, Fern, Jessica, Cheyenne, Taylor, Crystal, another Taylor. All right. So could you maybe go through and see who are the realtors that are selling a lot of these deals and call them and talk to them? Could you do that?
Yeah, that's another thing. Exactly. You're absolutely right. And that was another thing that was a factor in choosing the realtor that I chose, because I saw a lot of listings and a lot of solds. And you're absolutely right. That's a great idea.
So there's Joyce, there's Derek, John, Sean, Brittany, Wood, Darla. Okay, so let's just say let's look at what county this is in. Let's look at this one, for example. I don't know what county this is. Durant, Oklahoma. I'm going to take that zip code and I'm going to highlight it and I'm going to go to Redfin, because Redfin does something really interesting here where you can get a table of data and then you can export it into a spreadsheet. So let's look at 74701 in Redfin. And I'm actually going to remove outline. That just puts the map in the center of all of that. And I'm going to do solds last 6 months. Done. Home type, I'm going to do land. Done. A lot of land that's sold there. Cool. And let's do lot size 1 to 10 acres. Let's do 1 to 20 acres because there's a lot of them. Okay. Isn't this cool? Right here in this map image. And I'm going to sort price low to high. Or you know what? let's do it's sorted by most recently sold. And so I'm looking at in this area, and maybe I could zoom out a little bit more. Oh, look at that. Love this. There's 185 properties between 1 to 20 acres that have sold in the last 1 to 20 acres sold in the last, what did I say? 6 months, right? Oh, here it is. Yeah, sold in the last 6 months. And I'm sorting this table by most recently sold. If I move here I click table up here. There's a lot of them here, and I can download all of them right here. There's a download all link. I'm going to download that, and I'm going to actually open this up in Google Drive as a Google spreadsheet so you can see this, because I want to show you something really cool. It's going to tell me, I think it's going to tell me, we'll see here, who the realtors were in this spreadsheet. Oh, I hope it does, because if it doesn't, I'm going to be embarrassed. If not, this is a good example of something you could have one of your VAs do, right, Adam?
Oh, totally. 100%.
All right, so I'm waiting for this spreadsheet to finish opening here. All I'm doing is I went to Redfin, those of you listening to the audio podcast, downloaded, I don't remember the exact number. If I look at this spreadsheet here, I'm trying to expand all the columns. There you go. There was 185. It downloaded 185 properties for me. If I'm looking here, let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it better. This spreadsheet gives me the sold date, the property type, the address of the property, the zip code, the price that it sold for, the lot size, which is in square feet, so you'd have to convert that to acres. Okay. The website. Okay, it doesn't give me the realtor's company name, but it gives me the MLS number, which you could probably Google that and find the realtor that sold that property. I don't know. Let's just Google it. MLS number. Never mind. It gave me a bunch of things in Texas. But you could have a VA just click on one of these links, takes you to that property. And if you scroll down, boom, look at this. Listed by Chrissy Earls from JPAR Rockwall. Contact and phone number. Nice. And it was bought with this realtor from Coldwell Banker. Cool. So there's 2 realtors I could call, right? Go to this next property here. Again, this is something you can have a VA do, right? Scroll down. It was listed with Jason Hightower from American Dream Realty, bought with Deborah Portman. So what I would recommend you guys do is put this stuff in a spreadsheet and see which realtors have the most listings and bought with. So buyers, listing agents, buyers agents. I love what you've done here, Adam, because I talk a lot about finding the buyers first, but we're taking that to another step, and we're saying find the realtors who have the buyers first, right?
Exactly.
Because that realtor can now hook you up with the title companies that can do this for you, the people at the county, the person that can take the photos. They can actually advertise the property for you. Now they're going to get a commission as well, but you're going to make them do all the work for you, which means you don't have as much work to do.
Exactly.
Are you guys picking up what we're laying down here? Right? Are you? Excuse me here for the delicate types. Are you smelling what we're stepping in? Like, come on, this is awesome. I get excited about this because all of this data, guys, is right here beneath your nose. It's right here. You can get this stuff for free from Zillow, from Redfin. Who is this guy who bought this 8-acre lot for $320,000? I don't know, but I know somebody who does. Lisa Austin from EBBY Halliday Realtors, and Corey Meals from eXp Realty. Guess what? He brought that buyer. Maybe this buyer is a developer. It looks like there's some new homes out there. Maybe this is a developer who's looking to buy more properties. So call these realtors up and say, I'm an investor. I'm looking to buy some more land. Sometimes I do marketing and I find properties that I don't want. Would you have any buyers that might want them? I'll pay you a commission if you can connect me maybe with some buyers. So yeah, start a conversation. What are your clients looking for? You know what? They're going to tell you, aren't they? I love that. Let me show you. Can I look at one more? Am I okay, Adam, showing people this stuff?
Of course. Take your time.
All right.
I think it's great.
I'm going into PropStreamJoe.com. I'm going to log into PropStream. PropStreamJoe.com. It's just $97 a month. You can download up to 10,000 records.
That's a great deal.
Yes, 10,000 records a month. All right, so I'm not sure which county we were in, but the zip code, remember we said the zip code was 74701. So let me do that here in PropStream. I'm going to put that zip code in. It's in Oklahoma. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to do a draw. So there is a draw button right here. And I'm just going to, oops, let me try that again. Oh, you have to click. So I'm just clicking in a big area there, and I click search. Oh, it's a max area of 250 miles. I need to find out what county this is. 74701 county. So I'm Googling 74701 county, and it's Bryan County, Oklahoma. So let's try that instead. Bryan County, Oklahoma. Boom. Selected it from the drop down. I thought I did. Come on, PropStream. I'm using a ton of bandwidth now, so that's why things are kind of slow with me showing my video. Oh, come on. We're live. There's millions of people watching right now. There we go. Okay. I'm going to go to filter. I'm going to go to vacant land. Awesome. I like doing, now there's 10,998 records. I'm going to go to ownership info. Last sale date. Let's go back 6 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2. Let's just do July 1st. 245. I like to do owner occupied no, just to see if that brings it down. Good, because that brings it down to 194. It means the address of the owner is different than the address of the property. And one more thing, let's do property characteristics. Let's just say a minimum of 43,560 square feet. So that's 1 acre. So these are 1 acres or more. Cool. All right, there's 91. We can export those 91 into a new list. I'm just going to call this Bryan County. Okay, you guys will see what I'm doing here. And I'm going to show you the cool information you can get. Oh, dang it. There you go. Bryan County, Oklahoma. Save. All right, now I'm going to go to, it's saving it into a new list. I'm going to go to My Properties. I'm going to search for that list right here. Pull it up. There's 91 properties in there. Okay, what I want you to see here is if I scroll to the right, I'm still scrolling. Oh, dang it. It's blank. It depends on the county and the state. So this particular county, yeah, it's only giving me 3 realtors, but you have to try this in your own area. But PropStream will give you many times the agent's name, the agent's phone number, and the agent's email address and their brokerage and all of that in the data. So this county, some counties they have it, some counties they don't. So this is one of them that doesn't. But I wanted to show you all how you can go into PropStream and look at these areas and get who the realtors are. But in the meantime, you're just going to need to do that in Redfin. And you can go through these properties, click on each of them, click view details, see who the listing agent was. Have a VA just put that into a spreadsheet. One other thing you could do, guys, there's a secret weapon that I use called Scraping Solutions. I forget the name. It's a company out of, here it is. It's a company out of Australia. It's scrapingsolutions.com.au. Scrapingsolutions.com.au. And you can pay them a fee and they will go and scrape Zillow for you or any other website. Redfin could be one of them as well. And they will can scrape for you whatever properties you want, and they'll give you the price, the acres, the listing agent, the buying agent, any information and phone numbers and things like that that are on there. So check that out. Okay. Woo. Adam, sorry about that. You got me going. I thought it was pretty cool. I love that idea of finding where the areas hotspots are. Like I just showed you all in Oklahoma. Go to Zillow, find where the pockets are, where there's a lot of yellow buttons, yellow dots. Go in and see, all right, who are the active agents? And then call them, talk to them and say, if I find a deal that I don't want, will you help me sell it? Do you have any buyers right now that are looking for deals? You want to tell them too, look, I don't have an agent representing me right now, right? Like you can represent me and get all the commissions, maybe even double dip them if you want, which means they would get the listing agent commission and the buyer's agent's commissions, right? So they get double commissions on that. What do you think of that, Adam?
I think it's genius. I think you're a genius, and I agree with you completely, because I think that when it comes to good, competent realtors, it's just a good investment.
Yeah.
If you have someone who is competent, who's going to help you, who's going to sell property, and is going to help you make all this money, their commission is a very, very good investment. You want to make sure they're very happy. So,
well, this does a couple things too, right? Like I'm making a note. I'm going to add this whole discussion that we're having right now to my course. Because this is something that I've kind of talked about it in passing, but now that we're talking about it here, it just makes me realize how important this is. Because if you find an agent that has a lot of buyers, that's a good sign. Like this makes picking a county so much easier. Like if you can't find realtors in that county, it's not a good county to be in, right? So this is kind of a way, like, and I tell people all the time, like, go pick 2 or 3 states and pick 10 to 15 counties in each state. Get a list of like 30 counties, okay? And then go in and see, all right, in these 30 counties, which ones have the most activities? Which ones have the most realtors that are selling properties here? And do the old-fashioned thing. I know it's hard and it's painful and it sucks. Pick up the phone and start calling. Because guess what? Then else, you find a realtor that answers the phone. You know how hard that is. You find a realtor that answers the phone. That's somebody that you're going to want to pay very, very well, because they're going to work hard for you. And when they start advertising your properties and buyers call them, guess what they're going to do? They're going to answer their phones. So, man, this makes everything so much easier, doesn't it?
Totally. It totally makes things much easier.
All right, Adam, I got some more questions for you. Pick the right county by finding where the demand is, and you find the realtors that are doing their. How do you pick your price? How do you figure out pricing? What are some of the tools and tricks that you use to figure out, okay, what am I going to offer these deals?
Well, what I do is I told you I've learned a huge amount from the Land Profit Generator and Jack Bosch. So there's information there on pricing, and I use that. And also I got some consulting with Justin Sleva, and it was very, very helpful. And he gave me some pointers on pricing. And what I try to do,
pointers.
what I'm doing. Oh, okay. Well, what I'm doing is and again, this really depends on the area and the property. Okay. But on average, I'm offering anywhere between 25% and 45%, sometimes 50% of the market price. And I'm getting the market price through researching websites like Lands of America, Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, these kinds of websites.
So
right?
How do you determine 25% on these deals and 50% on these deals?
Well, the more valuable a property is,
Yeah.
the more you're going to have to offer, right? Because the person has more options.
Yeah.
That's what I found. It's not 100% true, but it's in my experience, it's been mostly true.
Yeah.
If someone has a small property in the middle of nowhere, they're probably just going to be like, I don't care. I'm tired of paying back taxes.
Yeah.
I'm tired of paying HOA dues. Just take it.
Yeah.
Right. Just make an offer.
But if it's a bigger property, more expensive property, you're going to be more closer to that 50% range.
Exactly. You're going to be more closer to the 50% range.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And which is fine, because when you look at the margins, right, you're making the margin is much bigger.
Never more than 50% though, guys. I see people make offers at 60%, 70%. No, that's for houses, not for vacant land.
Totally. If you're making offers at 70%, you may lose your hat, because what if there's more of a correction?
And well, that's the price that you want to sell it at. You want to sell it at 70%.
Exactly. And also vacant land, unless it's discounted, it doesn't sell. It's not going to sell anywhere as fast as a house would sell.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to Lands of America.
Yeah.
What are you looking at on Zillow and Redfin or whatever? What are you looking at? Like, okay, what are similar properties currently selling for?
Yeah. I'm looking for what they're selling for. And if I can, ideally, I want to see what's sold and how much the property sold for.
Okay. Right? One of the things, so like there's active listings and sold listings, right? How do you look at them differently when you're trying to figure out your pricing?
It's a really good question. I mean, with the sold listings, when I do my pricing, I take into account the active and the sold, but I prefer the sold, and I put more weight on the sold, because that's really what it's sold for. Right.
So are you trying to do like, 35% of solds or 35% of actives?
Well, what I do is lately I've just been mixing them together.
Okay.
And just doing 35% of the combined amount, because there's certain areas where the solds were sold maybe a year ago or 2 years ago. And if it was sold a year ago, the market was where it was at a year ago. Right. And what's listed for right now is what it's being listed for right now.
Yeah.
And I've kind of seen things go both ways. Sometimes the solds are crazy and the listing is cool, listed prices are good, and I've seen it vice versa. So that's what I've done. And then also, once the person accepts the offer, I do additional due diligence just to make sure I'm not over offering for the property.
And you call your realtor and say, what do you think we could sell this for? Right?
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
What a nice thing to have. What a nice thing to have.
A competent realtor is worth their weight in gold.
And the other thing too is that realtor probably, well, number one, they already have the buyers, but they're also most likely already paying premium listing space to put the properties on Lands of America or land.com, like the premium sites, right?
Oh, totally. They're already taking care of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
When it comes to my personal business, if the property is not it's not like a super high end property, then I'll do everything myself, because it doesn't make sense to bring in a realtor. Mm-hmm. But with these higher valued properties, they're worth their weight in gold.
Yeah. I just realized, I'm late for a call and I'm texting them right now. I'm sorry.
No worries. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, this has been good, because this has been, I've been the one asking all these questions and going off on these big tangents. So one of the things I'm looking at, and let me know what you think if this is good or not.
Yeah.
I want to make sure when I list my property, I'm the cheapest one on there, right? Because I want it to sell fast. And so I'm looking at it thinking, all right, well, there's a bunch of properties that are currently listed for $25,000. I want to list mine for $22,000. So then I base my offer on that. If I'm going to list mine for $22,000, I'm going to offer 25% of that. So I'll get my calculator, $22,000 divided by 4. So I'm going to offer $5,500. Then I look at solds and I say, all right, well, are there solds because when you sort solds by price low to high, you sort them. You're going to find the cheapest ones at the top. If I see a bunch of solds on there that have been selling for like $1,000, I might think, okay, I'm going to offer closer to $1,000 or $2,000. But if I see a bunch of solds at the low end that are between, the $5,000-$7,000 range, I know I'm kind of good. That's kind of how I look at it. Is that resonate with you or not? Or is that bad?
I think it resonates with me. I think it's a great way of doing things. It's just kind of like different strokes for different folks. I think your way of doing it is very successful and very, very valid. I did it that way. I do it the other way, and I might be wrong. Sometimes I overprice things or whatever, but I'm trying to strike a balance between getting the cheapest price and also I want to get more acceptances.
You want to get the deals. Yeah.
And I want to get the deals. And if there's a little bit of a less of a margin, I'm okay. Just as long as there's some margin, right? As long as they're making some money, I'm going to be okay. And then also, I don't know why this is, right? And I don't know why it is. I just observed just in the areas where I've used realtors, if they are competent realtors, not just any realtor, but a competent realtor. The competent realtors have gotten me more money than I would get from just listing it myself, or more money than you would get from just the lowest price listing.
Yeah.
Right. And it seems like even when I list it and the price is not the lowest price, people are still choosing that listing over the listing, a cheaper listing, just because the realtors I use, the marketing is better. And if I'm listing a property with a realtor, it's one of these properties where you're going to actually want to meet them at the property. They're going to want to have a showing, blah, 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 blah.
Which the realtor takes care of.
Which the realtor takes care of, and I don't have to take care of.
So are you using funding companies on these bigger deals then?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Do you have any funding companies you recommend?
Yeah, there's a few funding companies I recommend. There's, of course, Plum Investment Group.
Yep. I'm going to Google that right now so I can give people Plum Investment Group and their website.
Yeah.
It's PLUM.
Yeah.
PLUM Investment Group.com. Yeah, I recommend those guys in my course.
Yeah, and there's another one. Give me just one moment to pull up the exact name, okay?
Yeah. I'm going to put this in the banner right
just
now.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to get it off my phone. There's another group.
I just put the link for Plum Investment Group on the screen there, guys. PLUM Investment Group.com. That's the same guys who wrote the coffee book that we talked about before.
Yeah, they're great. I've done some deals with them and everything went really well. And there's a partnering company that I just started working with called Note Country.
Country?
Yeah, Note Country. It's by a lady who runs it is named Bhavna, and she does partner funding.
And so is this do they buy notes as well?
Yeah, they buy notes. They buy notes, but they also do deal funding.
Note Country. Do you know the website?
Yeah, I'll get it for you. Just give me 1 second.
I'm looking at notecountry.com and maybe the internet is down because it's not.
Yeah. Let me get you her website. I should have come prepared, please.
Note Country. Oh, they have a website.
Yeah.
Okay. If you go to, they have a Facebook.
Yeah.
Probably a Facebook page is working better.
Yeah.
If you go to facebook.com/Note Country.
Yeah.
They're there.
Yeah. And it's her name is Bhavna, and she's cool.
So they lend on deals, but do they also, if you have a deal on owner financing, they'll buy the note possibly?
Yeah, they buy the note and they also lend on deals.
Nice.
Lend on
okay.
deals. Right.
Cool.
And then there's another seller, and it's Reed. Let me give you the name.
I'm going to put the
I forget the
Facebook
last
link.
name.
I'm
So
put,
just hold on a second.
yeah. Those of you guys watching on YouTube right now, I just put on the YouTube banner, the video banner, facebook.com/note country, facebook.com/note country. There's something wrong with their website. By the way, guys, you're watching this right now on YouTube, Facebook, or even later on. What do you think? I mean, give me a thumbs up. Give me like a fire emoji. Let me know this is good, because it is good. And I got to hurry up and go. I got one more question for you, Adam.
Sure.
How about this? When you find that link, send it to me. I'll have my team put it in the YouTube description. We'll put a link to this in the YouTube description.
Yeah, it's parcelfunders.com.
Oh, Parcel Funders. Yeah. I had those guys on my podcast before.
Yeah.
Parcelfunders.com. Check them out.
Yeah, they're great. They're a cat.
And you've used them before.
I haven't used them, but I know them.
Okay.
And I plan on using them in the near future. So I know them. They're good guys.
Parcelfunders.com. All right. One more question. I got to go. Adam, are you going to ever quit your job, or do you want to do you like your job, and do you want to continue doing that while you do land on the side, or what's your goal?
I'm not in any hurry to quit my job. I mean, I really like the people I work with. I like the company. Great job, great benefits, fantastic benefits. So if something happens in the future, I guess when I get to the level, there will be a level where I get to where I can't have my job and run the business.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure there will come to be a point where that happens, but I'm not in any kind of hurry, or I don't feel like a lot of pressure to quit my job, because I like the people I work with. I like my job. I like the benefits. I like being there, and I've been there for years.
Okay.
So
nice.
It's all cool.
Adam, keep us updated on your progress, right, man? I'd appreciate you. And maybe if you did quit your job, we do another podcast talking about why you did. And even if you didn't in a year or so, I'd like to do another one with you to follow up and see how business is going for you, man. Cool.
Well, I'll be happy to do that. And thank you so much for having me on your show, Joe.
And Adam, real quick, how can people reach you if they want to get a hold of you?
Oh, just reach me on Facebook, Adam Harrison on Facebook. And you can just email me. Feel free to email me, qualityruralland@gmail.com.
QualityRuralLand@gmail.com. I'm going to put that on the banner here. QualityRuralLand@gmail.com.
Exactly.
All right, Adam. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
We'll see you later. Hey, guys, real quick, I just want to say oh, shoot. I was testing my camera here, and the other one is not working. I have another camera right here, and I was going to say something to you guys, but it's giving me the black screen of death. The camera must have shut off. But listen, I want to thank you for being on the show. And please subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel. And if you don't forget that one-page contract I was telling you about that you can get for free, go to simplelandcontract.com, simplelandcontract.com, and get my contract. We'll see you guys later. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.